My son and his friend are a couple. How do I let them know it's okay? Hello Reddit. Please bear with me regarding my formatting and things. I have read the rules and things, but I'm an old fart who is rather on the wrong side of 40, so I'm not overly well versed in the art of efficient interneting. My boy is 20 years old. He's absolutely my pride and joy, and there is nothing he could do that would ever make me love him less. For the first half of his life, I regrettably wasn't involved very much. His mother and I parted ways when he was just a few months old, and at the time I was struggling with a heroin addiction and was absolutely not as present in his life as I should have been, nor was I suited to fatherhood at all. I saw him at most 2 to 3 times a year for the first 12 years of his life. I won't discuss details because that's his private story to tell, but when he was 12 he revealed to me that he was being badly mistreated at the hands of his mother and her boyfriend. Despite not being the best father at the time, I didn't want my boy suffering anymore, so I got myself cleaned up and sorted out in order to get full custody of him. I've effectively been a single and sober father ever since, and he has little to no contact with his mother. He's everything a man could want his son to be. He's uniquely kind and fiercely loyal, he's unflinchingly brave, he's incredibly generous, and despite the horrors he suffered as a child, he's unfailingly positive and sunny to the last. Somehow I, of all people, was bestowed with the honor of watching him grow from a sweet young boy to the greatest man I have ever known. I cannot stress enough my pride in him. When he was 18, he got accepted into a top-ranking university on the other side of the country. I was sad to see him go, but simultaneously overjoyed that he got into his first choice and was starting a new chapter in his life. He comes home once every other month, and on the months he doesn't come home, I go to visit him. He's doing well in uni, has made lots of friends and seems incredibly happy there, which I'm obviously chuffed about. Since his second year, he's lived with his friend in a flat off campus. I've strongly suspected since his early teens that my son is gay, and I now more or less have confirmation that this is true and that his friend is actually his boyfriend. So, for this COVID-19 faff, my son decided he'd rather come home and quarantine at mine than stay at his uni flat. His friend, however, would be left alone if my son came back, as he's a Camden and his family are back over there, and I gather he doesn't have the best relationship with them anyway. He asked if it would be okay if friend tagged along to my house, and I said of course, no problem. They've been back at mine for about 6 weeks now. They think they're being subtle, I know, but I've caught them doing coupley things on several occasions now. The friend has slipped up a couple of times and called my son babe and sweetie in front of me, which I pretended not to notice for the sake of saving embarrassment. There have been nights where we'll be watching a film with the lights off and, thinking I can't see, my son will have his arm around the friend. One day I walked into the lounge and I'm positive they'd just been kissing and were trying to cover it, though I admit I have no confirmation on that one. The most solid evidence, however, came a few mornings ago. I get up very early to go for runs in the morning, hence why I'm making a Reddit post at 5 in the morning, haha. As far as I was told, my son was sleeping in his childhood room and his friend was in the guest room. I don't know what possessed me to do so, but on Tuesday morning I cracked my son's door open to check on him like I used to when he was a kid. Lo and behold, they're both asleep, snuggled up together, in my son's bed. That's more or less solidified for me that they're together. I didn't say anything, just shut the door and went for my run, and I haven't mentioned it to them yet. What I want advice on is this: how do I let my son and his boyfriend know that I'm okay with them being a couple and they don't have to feel like they have to sneak around in my house? I want them to be comfortable here, and I want them to know I support them both no matter what. Or is that not a good idea? Am I better off leaving it alone and waiting until they tell me themselves, if they ever do? I obviously don't want to force either of them out of the closet, but at the same time I hate feeling as if they feel like they're being forced into the closet in my house. What's my best course of action here? 2. My son and his friend are staying with me for quarantine. It's abundantly clear they're a couple, and I want to let them know it's okay and they don't have to sneak around in my house. What's the best way to go about it? Commenter, you're an awesome dad. I'm so glad you were able to clean up your life and become such an amazing father to your son. I hope he knows and sees that too. I'm a lesbian and I can totally relate to what your son is doing and feeling. I like the above advice in just referring to your son's friend as his boyfriend. It's casual and your tone will be the telltale sign in all of it. You could also write a letter addressed to him if you wish. I think that would be really sweet and I would keep it forever if I were him. Thanks for being one of the good ones. Commenter 2. I hope your family is just as supportive as Op. Or like my dad. When I was in my late teens/early 20s going to art school with short different colored hair every week and questionable early 2000s style, my dad called me and said one of his super religious work friends disowned his daughter for being a lesbian. Then he went on to say that if I am gay, that he loves me no matter what and would never do that. I'm not, but that still meant a lot to me, and if I was a lesbian I definitely would have been terrified to tell him. My immediate reaction to Op post was just slipping in somewhere that they are a cute couple. I love the note idea too. Update: I tried Yo post this before but it got removed as I hadn't waited 48 hours. Hopefully this time it works. Hello, lovely people. As promised I am back with an update for you on all what happened the other day. Here it is if you missed it. Want to top this off with a big thank you to everyone who left such lovely, thoughtful comments. I honestly didn't expect so many people to see the post. I was thinking maybe an absolute maximum of 100 people, and even that seemed like loads. It was lovely to hear back from so many of you, and I'm forever grateful for the fantastic advice most of you gave. Also overjoyed by my new adopted Reddit children. You're all doing amazing and I'm very proud of all of you. Also big thanks to all of the lovely people who sent me such sweet messages of support, and to those of you who reached out to me because you felt you needed someone to talk to. If anyone else feels that way and is in need of dadly advice, do feel free to give me a message and I will do my best to help out. Smiley face. Okay, you all want me to shut up and tell you what happened, huh? My son was busy with some assignments both for his freelancing job and his uni work most of the day, and I didn't want to disturb him, so I waited until after dinner to chat. Friend went to have a bath while my son and I watched telly. I taught him face to face, "Son, I love you very much. You don't have to tell me anything you don't want to, but I want you and, friend, to feel comfortable being yourselves in my house and you don't ever need to hide anything from me, alright?" Well, it turns out a hell of a lot of you were right. Son burst out laughing and said, "Oh thank God, I reckoned you'd clicked on but didn't say anything because I didn't want to make you feel weird." Basically, we've each been pussyfooting around the topic because neither one of us wanted to make the other uncomfortable talking about it. We had a bit of a chat and he confirmed that I'm right in thinking they've been together since their first year of uni and that's why they moved in together in second year. However, apparently I'm not as brilliant and intuitive as I thought because apparently one of his friends in secondary school was his boyfriend for a year and I had absolutely no idea. He went and talked to the boyfriend after his bath, and then we all had a bit of a further chat. Sadly, a lot of you were right that the reason boyfriend doesn't have a good relationship with his parents is because he came out to them a few years ago and they effectively disowned him, so I made sure he knows that he's a part of our family now. Sorry if that isn't all as exciting and groundbreaking as some of you had hoped. I'm glad this is something my boy no longer feels he has to keep from me, and I'm very glad he's happy with his partner. Thank you all again for the help. Commenter: just imagine being your son's boyfriend and to all of a sudden have an actual home and parent to fall back on. All the money in the world cannot buy what you just gave him. Edit. Wow, holy heck. I went to bed and then work, never seen so much karma before. Thanks for the kind gestures and words. Smiley face. Commenter 2. Overall this was a very sweet and wholesome post and everything, but when I got to that causal little, so I made sure he knows that he's part of our family now, I lost it loudly crying face. OP, you probably won't be able to fully tell how incredibly significant that sentiment is to this kid at this time in his life. Thank you for being so wonderful. Commenter 3, agreed 1000%. As a queer person who has been hurt by more family and friends than I'd like to count, I wish I could have had this experience in my formative years. To the OP of this post, thank you for being the figure I and so many other queer people needed but did not have. You are doing these boys a greater service than you know. Thank you.